Hey guys, a lot of people have been asking about using Adobe Spark, either in their classroom or with their students. So I'm going to run you guys through how to use this on your desktop, but you can actually use this on your iPad as well. So all I'm going to suggest is you type in Adobe Spark, and I misspelled it, and it's going to take you to the Adobe Spark website. And then you're going to have to log in. Now to log in, I would suggest logging in with your school Gmail account. That's what I've been doing. And then that's also what I've been having students do as well. So once you're here, again, yours might look a little bit different the first time you log in. All I'm going to do is hit the plus sign. And then I need to choose what I'm going to be creating. So there are 3 versions of Adobe Spark. And they come up slightly different on your iPad versus your computer. So graphic is actually going to be called post. So it's kind of equivalent to a poster. Web page is just like it sounds, except for it's going to be called Adobe Spark page. And then obviously we've got video as well. So what's kind of cool is they have all these different templates to use. And they actually give you examples of different social media platforms that you can use them on. I prefer for classroom graphics just to start from scratch. So I use a lot of 11 by 17 paper because it's the biggest that we can actually send through our color printers upstairs. So what I do is I click on custom, and then for the resolution, I personally just set it to 1700, oopsies, by 1100. Again, 11 by 17. And you do have to be conscious of, do you want it horizontal or vertical when creating this? So when you hit the next button, I'm going to be creating a poster for West Woods, publicizing a meeting that we've got coming up. So if I just type in woods or trees, Adobe has all these amazing free images that you can use. And they're high quality, high resolution. Which one do I use for the West Woods? Because, of course, this is what the West Woods will look like someday. You know what? I feel like this is probably closest to what we're seeing here at West. I'm going to hit next. So what's cool about this is if you use the same account to log in on your computer or your iPad, you will see your projects saved on there because it is cloud-based. So, no, thank you. It has the image take up the entire background. Now I can have multiple images on here if I like. Again, it has some variations that it immediately kind of gives us on the right-hand side. I prefer just to come up with my own. I'm not a huge fan of this text. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, or change this to West Woods. And I don't like that it has that color background. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to play with some of the options that we have over on the right-hand side. So I don't want to back to it, but now the text isn't bright enough, so maybe I'm going to change the color of the text. Ooh, to white. That actually looks pretty good. And maybe it doesn't on this background, does it? Okay, right there looks good. And then I'm going to add, or hit the plus sign. Now it's going to give me some options. I can add some additional text, obviously some photos. Logo is part of the premium, so you don't have that option. But then there's also icons as well. And it's kind of fun because this is actually part of a larger project where people have actually put together all these different icons that you guys could use for free. And some of them are pretty fun to use. Okay, so I'm going to add a text. And let's just say we've got a group meeting on December 12th, maybe. And then at, let's say 4 p.m. Now this isn't accurate because I really haven't set this up with Fred yet, but it might be a good way to advertise what it is that we're doing coming up. Again, be conscious of the text against the background because right now you can't see some of that white text. So we could put a block, like a rectangle behind it, or we could possibly change the color of the text. There is also shape or effects here. So you can see here what it does is it has a cutout, but then you can't see the image. This option creates a banner across the top. It doesn't look too good until I maybe change the width of this a little bit. So play around with this. Some of these options are so much fun, and really you don't have to worry about too much. You don't have to be artistically inclined to really work this at all. And then again, if we look at colors, I'm going to change this to something that's kind of close to our West blue. There we go. So now you can see, again, kind of eye-catching. It's going to pop off the wall, easy to read. Not the prettiest of posters that I have made at this point, but again, this is just a demo at this point. Anything else that I can show you guys? There's effects. I have to admit, like this cutout one is, I love it, but most of the time it doesn't look good. The amount of different fonts that you have access to is fantastic. So you can have some fun with the way that your text shows up. And then if you're not exactly sure what to do, this style icon, all you do is you drag this and it's going to come up with some different options for you. Again, you don't have to do a lot of thinking. You just play and have some fun with it. So I've used this a lot to create posters for my classroom. For the clubs, I've taught students how to create these to be able to post in the hallways. And I've also used this with my students in class for sharing out a lot of their work, both formatively and sometimes in a summative fashion in preparation for a summative. So you could have students take their own images, put them in the background. You could have them put in blocks of text. It doesn't have to be as simple as what you're seeing up on screen. When you're done, you're going to hit the download button. It's going to save the document. Do notice that when it saved it, it has just a generic My Post. I would highly suggest changing the title of the project prior to doing that. Otherwise, they're all going to be titled the same. So West was poster. And then maybe we give it a date like of 12/18. Again, now, if I hit download, now it actually saves it with that text. So yeah, have some fun with it, play around with it, and it's just as easy on your iPad.